265th annual plenary session at A2NewTech Ann Arbor. I'm here representing Doug Song, who is the organizer of the organizers of A2NewTech. Let's all say awe at the same time when I announced the birth of Doug's second child, his daughter Quinn. Mother and Lynn and daughter Quinn and sibling are doing great. That's why Doug's not here. He's got an excellent excuse. And if you go on Facebook and look at her face, you'll all go, because she's just a little peanut. This was going to be Night of 1,000 Stars. I think we should name it the Night of 1,000 Apologies. I apologize on behalf of the rest of us organizers for the absentee no-show of Kazez of Mobiata, Louis Calderon and Alan Kim of Bebaroo, because Roger is immortalizing my talk. I'm looking at you guys and I'm saying, you ought to have been here, and you're not. That means we only have 3 presenters today, but what a great 3 presenters they are. I cannot wait to hear from POWERleap, pedestrian, and HandEHolder. Those are the surviving 3 that are not apologizing. In fact, they're apologizing because they're just so damn good. So let's get started. Elizabeth, we're going to follow Ben. Elizabeth, you were going to follow Ben, but now you're going to open us up. And I just finished telling you that the second slot is my favorite slot in 5. All right, so that one just went to tweet stream. Woohoo! Woohoo! Okay, did you bring cheering groups? Because you're not supposed to do that. All right, while Elizabeth sets up, POWERleap just returned from a wonderful trip to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Who's been to Abu Dhabi? Okay, I was there about 5 years ago, and let me tell you, it's hot. I mean, in June, you're on the Tropic of Cancer. It passes right through Abu Dhabi. You look up at the sun at noon, it's right there. Oh yeah, and it's hot. So she was there doing a feasibility study for the Abu Dhabi Water and Electricity Sheikhdom. And if that Sheikhdom found that this product that she's going to demonstrate for us right now was feasible, there'd be significant energy and cost savings associated with that project. You ready to rock? Elizabeth, I'm going to start your 5-minute timer. Elizabeth's going to talk for 5 minutes, and she's going to keep you riveted for that period of time. You're going to be jotting down the 2.6 billion questions that you have for her. Then we'll have 5 minutes where you're going to fight over the floor to ask those questions. That's what we do here at A2NewTech. Go.
All right, hello, I'm Elizabeth Redmond, and I'm founder and president of POWERleap Inc. And we are creating flooring products that harvest energy from pedestrian and vehicular traffic. And we're using this energy harvested for a number of different applications, including to purely store power as well as power-embedded wireless sensors. So the technology behind this is piezoelectricity, where electricity is generated from an applied stress. And it's a naturally occurring phenomenon in a number of different materials, and we're using a ceramic compound. So the system is modeled in this way where we have a subflooring system that is our piezoelectric block. It can have a fully customizable surface. The energy that's generated is stored in a UPS, and the wireless sensor is embedded into the product itself. So we're basically taking this piezoelectric material, and this model here represents the rods. It's cast in a resin matrix. We cut these blocks into slices or layers. We layer a number of those up based on the amount of energy output that we want, and put our surface on top. We're also, so on the sensing end, we're working with a company called Mobiata, which is also in the tech brewery. We just moved into an office space together. And this is on a very low power wireless sensor node. So the idea behind the power generation for the wireless sensing is basically for building automation purposes. And we are modeling a sensor to be as low power as possible, so to optimize the cost of the product itself. So we've gotten the sensor down to about 111 microwatt seconds. I'm sorry, this is cut out, but the full product, basically with this wireless sensor, we can not only control green building automation systems for energy savings, but we can also track valuable data on traffic. So imagine a retail environment where people are walking through, where the POWERleap flooring is in place. You can track data on these traffic patterns, or where people are spending the most amount of time, and for museum applications, we can do the same thing. So this is an added benefit to the product. We can also provide security in highly secure facilities, so we can understand where people are within a building and where people should not be. We can also control interactivity, so we can create really engaging, educational, interactive environments, and also track other data on this traffic occupancy. For the smart environments, we can basically, the wireless sensor can integrate with any kind of wireless protocol. So right now our sensor is running on a Zigbee protocol, which is the lowest power consuming wireless protocol. But we can program it for Wi-Fi, and in that it can interact with things like smartphones. So people could walk into a room and have their programming preferences, and it accommodates to that preferred environment. So some of the applications that we're looking at for our initial pilot tests are a project with Pepsi for retrofitting these recycling kiosks that they plan to put 3,000 out over the States in the next 6 months. And that'll mainly be on an education platform for the interactivity, but also on an energy saving. So we'll be able to power up the system when people are present, power it down when people are not. So we're not powering that when there's nobody around. Same for the building automation, and we also have a pitch in with the 2012 Olympics for doing an interactive installation on the infield of the stadium at opening ceremony. Here's a quick market overview of the product. We're looking at the smart flooring from green marketing down to energy efficiency.
Let's hear it for Elizabeth. Firstly, I look forward to the non-software as a solution, software as a service presenters. We have a preponderance of SaaS presenters, so whenever we get a hardware solution in here, it's quite refreshing. 5 minutes of Q&A, beginning with you.
No, Mike. I'm going to take my stupidity as an excuse for critiquing your display, your presentation. For 3/4 of this, I thought you were using people's, walking across something to generate energy to run the building. You're actually just generating energy it's just a sensor, right? You don't intend to harvest energy to run the building.
The product is modeled to be both, so we can basically generate electricity on a spectrum of wattage output. We're able to generate as much as 1 watt second per step, but as little as 100 microwatts. And that's all an optimization play on cost and the efficiency of the product.
Roger.
Is that yours?
Yeah, so as we talk Q&A, I'll do a quick demo. This is basically showing you that as you step on the tile, it's providing enough energy for this wireless sensor right here to transmit to the computer and log that data. And this is a very simple light sensor. So you're seeing that it's taking a very steady light rating of 8 lumens.
Peter? Sorry. You had a question?
You did not have a question.
Cost per square foot for a flooring area?
So for the sensor, we're targeting a cost that's around $10. And there'll be one sensing node, likely about every 10 square meters, and one energy harvesting unit. So the full harvesting use the harder and have to use more material.
You mentioned any residential.
Speak up, please.
You didn't mention any residential applications. Do you see that in the future if this works for commercial, military, stuff like that?
Yeah, so for this customer in Abu Dhabi, the Water and Electricity Authority, they basically sponsor all of the electricity for the entire city. So they're really interested in this energy savings benefit because they're going to increase their energy load and not have to increase, infrastructure demand because they're running into these peak issues. So residential is a pretty big market for them as well. And I think in home automation, it's a pretty huge opportunity. Certainly for entertainment and comfort, but also for energy savings.
Wes and then Kyle.
So scalability, we're talking very low power things right here. So scalability in order to power something that may be more useful to the rest of us. What are we talking? And the second question being, piezoelectric has been known for a long time. What sort of intellectual property do you have around this in order to prevent someone else from doing exactly this?
Mm-hmm. So the idea of creating an energy harvesting floor product is nothing new and has been patented for decades. Really where we are at is bringing all the proper technology partners together, and there are pretty few in the space. The piezoelectric technology itself is finally coming of age on a cost spectrum. So it's typically been very expensive, used as transducers, used for very sensitive sonar sensing applications in the past, but is now going into energy harvesting.
Okay, let's try to get in two more questions. Kyle and then right here.
I'm good, actually.
Okay, Kyle and then Steve.
If you looked into embedding this type of material into treadmills.
Treadmills, yeah. Any location where there's a repeat activity is obviously it's going to be a more efficient application than
Steve, 10
laying out
seconds.
a lot of flooring.
Does the piezoelectric material exhibit any sort of hysteresis or plasticity over time?
In our old design, we were using a bending shim. This is a solid state technology that we're using now. So we can significantly increase the lifespan of material.
Let's
to
hear it
about
for
20 decades.
Elizabeth Redmond. Elizabeth is born and raised in Dexter, where she started a farm and harvested 230 garlic plants. And let me tell you, I was standing next to her. I couldn't tell. Anybody familiar with Bloom Energy? Similar manufacturing process to what you guys know. That's not going anywhere. All right, let me talk about TweetStream a little bit. I made the mistake.
Wrong side.
TweetStream is actually part of a bigger project called Downstream. It's backing up what otherwise wouldn't get backed up. It's all of the data that's out there in the cloud. And Aaron is the only man in Michigan who sold a house. Aaron sold his house in Holland a couple days ago. He's been living in a cardboard box with his family, and he just moved into a new house in his hometown of Holland. Are you ready to rock?
Let's cross our fingers.
Let's do it. Aaron Schaap, TweetStream.
Well, hi. My name is Aaron Schaap.
Thank you.
I was asked to come over here and talk a little bit about what we're doing over at Holland. The summary of it is we're doing this. We launched a new product called TweetStream. And TweetStream is essentially, you can go to tweetstreamapp.com. And TweetStream's main premise is kind of three areas. We back up, we deliver, and we trend your Twitter information. So with that, a lot of people ask, well, why the heck do I need to back up my information? And why is this important? And, the traditional answer is, hey, there's scary things that are going on the internet, there's hackers, there's things like that. Sometimes people accidentally delete their accounts. And those are all actually extremely valid reasons. There's also other reasons where Twitter only holds so much of your information online, about 3,200 tweets, and then actually just doesn't use those on the website anymore. But the real reason that we actually developed it is a little bit simpler. For us, it's about your online marketing. Most people are starting to use Twitter for as an essential component for marketing. They're starting to have a lot of conversations with long-distance friends and relatives. You can share inside jokes online, and start talking to people that you've met, and you share your musings, you also kind of share all your frustrations and your celebrations. These are all things that you do online. Essentially, Twitter is you. And so all we're doing is we're just giving you back. And instead of you guys sending everything out 140 characters at a time, we're giving it back to you. So that's what TweetStream is. As soon as the slide goes. That's what TweetStream is. It's a little washed out, but it looks better online. TweetStreamApp.com. So I'll take a little demo. So first you go to the website. You, in the top right-hand corner, you can sign up and you can get a bunch of awesomes there. But essentially, I'll already have an account, so I can log in here and put your email address and your password there. And this is what the dashboard looks like. So the dashboard is, overall, we talk about how many accounts we're backing up, how many tweets that we've gathered, and how many days of your life that we've pulled together. Below that, you can see various trends. You can see the various accounts we're backing up and some interesting information below that. Some of the stuff you can't really see probably very well is you can see the 368. That's actually how many mentions that you have active, and then 66, an average per month. So if I kind of go over here, you can see the Scopy in the top right. I can actually browse between those. So now I'm in all, now I'm on Scopy, and you start seeing the different trends per thing. So now I'm on downstream, now I'm on co-factory, and you can start seeing actually some different data about what's actually going on. You get your TFF, which is your Twitter friend forever. Those are always fun. So the person who's been following the longest that is not a spammer. And you can see who's been talking about you the most. And there's fun little things right here, so you can see that, so for example, I like to spend my afternoons in Tweet Deck talking to Jody Michelle and Elder about TED. Oh, sweet. So as we go through this, you can kind of see different things. You can play around with it. And some of the things you can also do is you can click on your favorites over there, and it pops up. And you can start seeing things that you say is your favorite. So this was something that I thought was pretty interesting. I say it as my favorite on Twitter. Now I have backed up for, I can show my kids. Along with that, you can actually back up, you can actually start gathering your information. So you can do that in 3 ways. We can download it, we can ship it, and we can send it to your own FTP account. If you have Amazon S3, that's good as well. So you can download it here, and you can, I just check my desktop, but so we actually back it up. It actually looks like, this. Oops, not that.
1 minute.
Looks like this. So you can see all of our stuff right here. So you can see a theme is right here. We can back that up, and you can see I backed up my own information. So there's a lot of stuff. You can deliver to the cloud, you can deliver to your Amazon. Here's multiple streams, and we're all done. So you guys can sign up for free. You can use the promo code Momentum2010. And thanks, guys.
We just added 30 seconds for Q&A. Nice job. All right, Kyle, how many tweets do you have?
Thousands.
Yeah, all right. So let's start with the 1,000 tweeter questions. Right here.
Hi there, how are you? Good presentation, by the way, very interesting. I was wondering, what do you use first of all for security? You're backing up the data, and I saw that you have an FTP gateway. Basically, you want to make sure that people don't have access to desktops and that. What do you use in terms of security, and where does your data get backed up?
Yes, our data is actually backed up on our own servers that we actually have. It's actually a company called Bebaroo, it's a web hosting company out there. So we can talk more specifics around, it's on a virtualized server and that encryption backup on there. We actually don't ask for people to use names and passwords at all, other than FTP, but usually we ask for people to authenticate for OAuth, which is a new standard for Twitter and various other apps. So you don't actually need any of your Twitter usernames and passwords. You give us a token and use the token to grab your information. The other part of it is most of this information is already online anyway, so as far as it being super private, unless you have it protected, it's already out there anyway. And then lots of other things you can talk about.
And then, I'm sorry, I was going to ask one more question. What means do you restore the data? Do you have a means of getting at your data once it's backed up, or how do you work
Yeah, you
that
can
out?
download it. We give you multiple CSV formats, and we give various PDF formats so you can view your information. As far as putting it back up online, if it's available, then you can go to those different services and see that I have what it
I
works
just
to
meant
that.
accessing it once it's backed up. You backed it up a couple days ago, and so
You
you
can
have
download and
means
view
of
that
accessing
information,
it.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, my question is, do you folks, once somebody signs up and then you sort of start backing up their Twitter stream, do you actually use that as, is it part of your revenue or something to sell it, sell the trend information to companies or something like that, or is it actually kept entirely for the users themselves?
Repeat the question, please.
So the question was, how do we make money? Do we sell the data, or do we have a different source of revenue? We do not have plans to sell that information. We actually do charge $5 a year for this. We're not going to die rich, on $5 a year, but this is actually going to prove a concept that actually in a downstream infrastructure for us. So we offer other services like Salesforce streaming, LinkedIn streaming. Those would actually be at a much higher rate, probably at between $10 to $20 a month. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and so you're not at this time thinking of selling the trend information to companies or anything like that?
At this point, we have no plans over
The
yet.
question was selling trending information to quantitative marketers. No. Did I have a question here? All right, so my question is, does Twitter let you re-upload your tweet history to recreate your tweet life?
They don't right now. Right now, they essentially just are focused on real-time search engines, so they're actually focused more on tweets as a mass, and so they actually don't care about the past, which is relevant because they're a real-time search engine.
Yeah. Cool. Roger?
I read that the Library of Congress is going to capture all the tweet stream. Is that still going on?
Yeah, we're still working on a tweet stream just for Library of Congress, but they haven't returned our phone calls yet. So. But yeah, they are doing that. It's actually really valuable, I think.
Right here, speak up, and then Peter.
The only person that can view your tweet stream, or can anybody go to your tweet stream page and see that information?
Currently, only you with your username password can do that. Talk about different options where maybe you can opt to make it public, or you can make pieces of it public as we start doing more trends. We notice a lot of people on Twitter, when they see that effort for the first time, they'll be really excited. So people are always saying, hey, you're my TFF, which is surprisingly it's spread quite a bit.
Peter?
Can you clarify your privacy policy? You're saying we do not currently have plans, but the webpage says we do not and will not ever.
Well, as far as selling data, I couldn't do more clear. We will never do that.
Okay. Vicky, answer to that. Wes?
So right now you log in and get your own stuff. Any plans on monitoring just any random? So maybe I want to monitor Kyle's account behind me, or specifically maybe a competitor or something like that, where I could log whatever they're saying in case I want to keep track of things.
So the question is, currently you can log in to your own information, but can you start watching and tracking other people's information? The answer is essentially yes. How we're going to do that is through the search API. We're going to be hopefully launching new features where we won't actually, essentially we'll be pulling through the search. And so it's available via search.twitter.com. We'll be able to pull that along with various other pieces of search information that we want to trend.
15 seconds.
Can this be used in court against an individual?
Actually, yeah, some businesses are currently a steel case in a hospital, and groups like that are actually using TweetStream right now. I think there's a new one called SAS, and they're actually, or SAS 7, something like that, and they're looking to actually use to prove that they say what they did say at certain times.
Aaron Scapp, TweetStream. Okay, we are breaking the Ross School of Business. All right, we're getting set up here for HandEHolder. Mike Burns is going to give the talk with just a great cast of helpers there. Okay, so HandEHolder grew out of necessity, my favorite mother of invention. They started as a software company doing timing for little events like the Boston and New York marathons, and that illuminated all these other opportunities that we're now going to hear about. Mike, are you plugged in and ready to rock? Yeah, that bass is going to be a problem. Okay.
But aren't we missing a couple of presenters? So.
You want me to brief them in while these guys are set? It'll take a while. Okay, word to presenters, don't touch the machine. Oh, you don't have it?
I'm ready.
Oh, what? You got audio?
Yeah, I don't think it's not showing up here.
We'll go to the technical difficulty slide.
I'm guessing this shows a dying need for something that you can just plug your computer in and it will show it on the screen. We'll call it the It Just Works box.
Yeah, it'll automatically size to the screen and everything. The right colors.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And it works instantly.
Teleportation before we have that.
Well, I'm thinking just a big LED screen that big. It's the same thing.
Or you said a rack. It's not radio. Video camera.
We can stream this to a bunch of iPhones strategically located around the room.
With big magnifying glasses on them?
Just everybody huddle around an iPhone.
It's like my idea for the 3D icon system. You could take your iPod Nano and sync them and do like...
Right.
Ben? You're late. I don't want to let you
That looks good.
Okay. And then we're ready, David? Okay.
And without any further ado, HandEHolder. Oh, Mike.
Okay, thank you everybody for showing up. I just wanted to introduce you to a new product that was created out of necessity with some other invention. The HandEHolder is what we call this device. It's finally an ergonomic solution for holding and working with the iPad and similar type of devices. I'd like you to watch about a 2-minute video right now, and then we'll show you some of the accessories and the device itself. accessories that go with it to make it accessible, and we have this adapter plate that we have that we're showing up here. It's actually a component that ties into each and every accessory that we have, and it still allows the HandEHolder, when it's within it, to still rotate at 360-degree capabilities. And all of the accessories here, except the one, have articulating heads for pivots and everything. We have a mini tripod that's collapsible for portability. And then we have C-clamps in the 1.5 and 2.5-inch models that can be used to attach to edge of counters, under kitchen cabinets, trade shows, store displays. The C-clamps have a channel allowing for it to be attached to irregular shaped objects such as pipes. We have a spring clamp that allows attachment to work environments, locations where there are no horizontal surfaces such as engine compartments in the garage or things like that. And then to top it off, we have a bunch of stylized stands for the office and home. One of them being a classic looking teardrop stand of clear acrylic. You saw that in the office model that at the end of the display, or at the end of the demo. And then we have also a rectangular based stand with articulating head and a keyboard groove for the wireless keyboard. It's going to come with a black polish base and a clear acrylic. The one we have here is actually just a prototype because our manufacturer was an hour late in getting them to us today. And so let your imagination go wild, because now you can safely and securely take your technologies with you. And one thing of note, 90% of the components are made here in the state of Michigan, and 100% of the components are made in the USA, and it's assembled in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Complete. Thank you.
I want to point out that HandEHolder, with a cast of 5, did their 5-minute talk and got in a video. All right. Future A2NewTech presenters, hi, it's David. Hi, future A2NewTech presenters. Be like them. They did a really good job.
Yes.
Okay, 5 minutes, Q&A, go. Speak up.
Mike, does this work with my Android tablet or my Kindle too?
Actually, the device is not iPad specific. It can be utilized on any tablet type of device. Or it can be actually used on your clipboards here also. Clipboards, scoreboards, drive boards.
Great presentation and how to get an iPad so I can make it work. But the first thing I thought about for medical applications, how does it stay sanitary? Is there antibacterial materials?
Actually, the straps can come to you in an antibacterial mode. They can be produced in that fashion, and also they can be taken out and washed repeatedly without any loss of that.
Sunim, then Steve. Sunim, then Steve. You're up.
Oh, okay. My question is like the adhesive. Are you using an adhesive as a static cling? What is it?
Actually, it's an airline product that's used for the airline industry, and it's a product developed by 3M called Dual Lock. And it has the ability to, when you're pulling directly on it, it takes almost 170 pounds of force to pull it directly off. When you come at it from a very unique 90-degree angle, when you grab the bottom plate of this, it can pull off, and you have to very specifically touch it. It will take only a 12-pound pull.
So basically, you can peel it off, but you can't pull it off.
Correct.
And it's reusable, or is it sort of you have to keep replacing
No,
that?
you can reuse it and reattach it as many times as you want. Okay. Out of necessity for running event that we're doing, and everything is, provisional patents are in place for every component. The stands, the adapter plates, the specific thing too that's unique to this is that we have a hand plate that is slightly wider than what you would expect it to be, but it allows it to slide into this adapter plate, which then allows it, the adapter plate can be attached to gym equipment, it can be used on treadmills, it can be used on bicycles, it can be used on and any other application. Let your mind go wild where you may want to utilize it. Please.
Now, I love my iPad, and I don't want to get a sticky or take it out of the case in case it gets dropped. Do you have any Does it remove off the back, and do you have a case like that I could?
It's such a low profile, if you put it on, you can still put it into a case. We'll show you an example of it right here. And this will, if you really want to get it off, you can get it off. But it's, we have found that when people have used it, we've had people demoing it, that once they start to use it, they don't want to take it off. They want to just keep it held.
How are you currently marketing and selling the product?
Actually, we're going to be going online with it, hopefully next week. So it's a brand new product. It's actually going into production at the end of this week, and it is ready to go. So we're going to be doing it with an online store and through a variety of websites and blogs and just interests that we've had raised by sending it to key media personnel.
What sort of warranty?
Speak up.
On it, just in case it does ever fail, the iPad drops and $400.
Well, the warranty is on the parts that we're producing and everything, and we're going to have a 6-month warranty on this if you have any difficulties.
But it's not an iPad warranty.
It's not an iPad warranty.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that this may sound odd, but I have actually played ping pong with my iPads using the same.
Put that in the video. Put that in the video.
That's actually a video that we're working on.
Alan?
How much is it?
It's going to be a $39 item.
With all of the plastic that goes with it?
No. And each of these is all falling into that same similar type of a.
This piece.
Got it.
And how much of the adhesive then? Do you want it to be a couple of tabs so we could lock our hold of it with a couple of different devices?
Well, we're planning on that being somewhere in the neighborhood of a $6 item for a set.
That's pretty expensive.
All right. I want to make a pitch for you guys. All right? I was never going to get an iPad because it didn't have it.
Okay.
And I'm still not. So let's give it up for Mike Burns and the team. It's hardware guys at A2NewTech. Okay, the rest of the presenters showed up, so you got to clear this out.
You get into your, you don't need an iPad. You get in.
All right, so
There needs to be a special award
Ben
for people who
Kazez.
bring actual physical items into the club.
Yes, it's A2NewTech. Ben Kazez, 3 fun facts about Ben. Who's friends with Ben? All right, I'm going to ask this question again in a minute. Fun fact number 1. Most successful app company in town. Number 2, knows Steve. Steve knows him. 3, he makes travel easier than tying your shoes. Now, who knows Ben? Who wants to know Ben? That's more like it. Ben Kazez.
Thank you.
And Mobiata.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be back here. I was actually a presenter at A2NewTech. It's been a year ago now.
Right.
And it's been a year, yeah. And
what a year it's been.
Back, it's been really incredible how far we've come. So, we are developing mobile travel applications for smartphones. We're trying to make travel as easy as possible. And my background is from Apple. I also did engineering and user interface design at Ultralingua, which is a dictionary software company. Over the past year, I've been fortunate enough to find and work with some really amazing people. Jack Loop is our business development guy. Carl Stillner is our finance advisor. Both are from AT&T backgrounds, where they really know the wireless industry inside and out. And Jeremy Xavier is our marketing guy, another new person in the past year. He is just has a fantastic marketing background. He's actually the creative guy behind the Zippo Lighter application. You may laugh, but it got 10 million downloads, and that is quite a feat. So we develop a couple of apps of our own, Flight Track, Hotel Pal, and Trip Deck. Flight Track will give you live flight status. It will tell you the gate number of your flight. It will let you know about delays and cancellations. It's available right now for iPhone, iPad, BlackBerry, and actually Palm Pre now. And the story about Steve Jobs. I can't say that I actually, and Android, sorry. The story about Steve Jobs, I can't say that I actually know him personally. I did eat lunch next to him at Apple, which doesn't quite count, but Steve actually demoed Flight Track on iPad at the last Worldwide Developer Convention that Apple had. I was out there with two of our engineers, Marshall and Jason, and it was a fantastic experience being the audience as that happened. So it's $5, and then there's a pro version for $10, and those are available on the various app stores and catalogs and markets. We also develop Hotel Pal, which enables people to find real-time rates and availability of hotels. And you can search around the world. You can use GPS, of course, and search right nearby you. It is heavily location-based. It will give you live hotel availability and photos and amenities, and really let you make a good comparison among the various choices you might have. And then the really cool part about Hotel Pal is you can actually book right within the application. So I actually don't book my hotels ahead of time anymore. I show up wherever I'm going. I haven't wasted any time trying to hunt around Travelocity or Expedia, and I'm simply able to find a hotel nearby wherever I want to be and book it on my iPhone. We also developed TripDeck, which is the itinerary manager on the App Store. It's sort of like Flight Track, but is expanded to car rentals, hotels, trains, cruises, and so on. It will synchronize your itineraries with the online trip service called TripIt, so you can basically forward your confirmation emails of any sort to TripIt, and then it'll automatically appear in TripDeck. Really helpful if you travel a lot, especially. We've also added Flight Track Maps to that, and it's a kind of interesting business model. It's free to download. There are in-app purchases for the various features. So you download the app for free within the app to access flight status and flight maps and a couple of other features. You can buy these small $3 in-app upgrades. Now we're also developing mobile applications for some partners. Early on we got some interest from major airlines and so forth, and we will also figure out how can we do this for partners effectively. So what we're doing is developing apps on generally a monthly payment model. It's a contract that goes for a year or two. We're actually working with one of the top 10 passenger airlines in North America, developing apps for them. I should have an announcement for that really soon. And then another airline deal that we're currently doing, currently the project planning phase for. So lots of good stuff happening with the big airlines. It's a fun chance to kind of shape how travel technology it works on mobile. Now, quick plug. We would love to find more developers. We are, I think the thing that separates Mobiata from other engineering jobs is that everyone has ownership over a particular application. It's yours, you make it awesome, and they're very small teams. It's very common to work on something and have it in the hands of a couple 100,000 users in a couple of weeks. So we've gotten lots of good press, and your apps will get good press too. And finally, I think this last story is my favorite. This is Marshall, who is the engineer who worked on Flight Track for iPad. He and I and Jason designed this app in a brainstorming session, launched it, and a month later it was in the WWDC keynote. Thank you.
Woo-hoo. All right, so don't just throw resumes, throw good questions and then resumes. And I'm going to throw the first one. Okay, no, I'm not.
Go for it.
So what package do you interface with to do your Flight Track?
We're working with Flight Stats. That's a product of Producer Technology out of
Larry?
And what's your fee for the hotel bookings?
Hotel bookings come through a partnership with Travelocity. So yeah, we're actually looking at a couple of providers that aren't the big names. So we thought that people, when they were booking hotels through mobile, which is still pretty new, and it still is pretty new, they'd want to.
So they get a cut of everything?
Yes.
All right, so I'm interested in your plug that you get to own an app. And so tell me about Mobiata beyond any of the apps that we've seen. Do you have a next generation that you want to tease this crowd with? What's coming?
Yeah, so what's coming are a couple of really cool things. So first of all, there's apps we're doing for partners. So it's right now you can look on the App Store and you will find that there's not a single airline out there with an app that's actually fun to use. We're hoping to change that with a couple of airlines, and in the case of any of these partners, they're looking to us for expertise on what should a mobile app look like? What could be a really good mobile app? And so from that perspective, super fun to be able to plan these things for other companies and actually implement them. The apps that we're doing on our own, we're always taking these existing apps to other platforms. We're also taking them to other use cases. You can look at all the sort of the areas of travel, the use cases of travel, from the planning to the executing, and we're trying to make every phase of that as easy as possible.
The pushers at O'Hare need iPad running your app with your adapter. Okay, you're on gate 14. Kids, you can't get there in time. Okay, you. Right up front.
I'm one of those, Luddite persons who doesn't have a smartphone. Do your apps run on laptops?
They don't run on laptops, and it's funny, we actually haven't we get a lot of requests for specific platforms that people are interested in. Very few requests.
That might also be good if you want to have that sort of integration where I can use my smartphone, I can use my laptop, I can work from my desktop on that.
That's true.
Over here.
Do you guys have any server technology you develop, or is it all standalone on?
Is there server technology or just app? Hand
talking to other servers?
Yeah, there's server technology. So one of the features of FlightTrack is the ability to get push notifications, so your phone buzzes when your gate changes. That's a good server piece. The Hotel Pal has a big server piece. Actually, we pushed as much logic on the server as possible there to make other platforms easier. And so yeah, in fact, as we do work with airlines especially, there's actually a big server piece. So server engineers as well as iPhone, Android, Mac, web, etc.
Ben, tell us your Ann Arbor incubation story. Where'd you start? Where'd you go?
I started off at TechR. I was, I guess, one of the first groups under University of Michigan's review, and let's see. After that, went off to Tech Brewery. I see you there, and have been working sort of alongside Doug Song for the past couple months, and then now we're actually moving over to Nichols Arcade. There's a really awesome office space. It is right across the street from my favorite coffee shop, which is Color Coffee. So we're going to get to work while looking down at people's latte art. I just can't do that.
How would you get anything done?
We're really not sure.
All right, don't give me all the fun questions. Larry, you got another one?
Yeah, when you partner with airlines, aren't they going to compete with you? Utilize your main product?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So isn't it possible, in other words, that the airline app, an app that we develop for an airline would be competitive with FlightTrack? The answer is yes, it's possible. If we were developing it, we would probably say no to something like that. But more practically, I guess the apps that we think are good for airlines are not necessarily the apps that would do everything that FlightTrack does. Airlines tend to want to be more focused on the flights for their airline. They also tend to want to go for a little bit more breadth and look at features for frequent flyer miles and things like that.
Go.
So you develop things for airlines, develop things for yourself. Are you a project company or are you a product company?
We're definitely a product company. That's a really good question. I think everyone at Mobiata is motivated by this vision of a really cool app doing something really awesome.
Do projects just pay the bills right now, or do you work on product?
Oh, sorry. I see both of the sides of the business as product. So you're saying, are you more of developing our own apps, or more developing the apps for other companies? Is that a question? Yeah. So right now, most of our revenue comes from the apps that we develop ourselves.
Kazez, thank you very much.
Really important.
Take that one in the hallway. That's an excellent question. All right, I lied. It's happened. All 5 showed up. And in the next 15 seconds, Alan Kim will be setting up for Bebaroo. Bebaroo is the mix. It's one of my favorite mashups. It's 2 business models kind of smashed together to make a really cool business. So the first one is Netflix. And the second one is baby clothes. That wasn't a punchline. No, they weren't here last time. They were slated to be here last time. All right, now Luis is doing what many entrepreneurs do, and he's an expert. He's one of our organizers and a serial entrepreneur in his own right. What he's doing is he's working at Next Energy and doing a startup, burning the candle at all 3 ends. So I'm absolutely riveted and looking forward to seeing it drag it on. There we go. The Bebaroo talk. Alan and Luis Calderon, go.
So
you might have seen our pitch 3 months ago. We have an update, so that's why you might have seen it.
You had it, Alan.
Yeah, it's not.
There you go. Now don't touch it. Oh.
Here.
Go.
Okay, I'll just run through it. Hi, my name is Alan, and this is Luis, and we're at Bebaroo. Seeing your children grow during their first few years is a very special time. Unfortunately, kids grow out of their clothes every 2 months, leaving parents to spend almost $150 per size change. And I've basically seen this with my own eyes. Well, give me 1 second. This is not working.
4 minutes. And Doug Song had a baby. You know he's going to be watching.
Right.
Oh, it's today?
This
Yeah,
morning.
just-
Where were you? I know where you were.
So here's a new app. It's a little weird to put some on your computer so you can see how it's nice.
Just leave it up there. Just leave it. Alan, leave it in one screen.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, we love you.
I'm sorry. It's
Boom.
He is a perfectionist.
There's
All right, go.
actually only 3 viewers. So.
Keep working.
So,
No pressure.
So Bebaroo, it's an online baby clothes rental service. How it works? First, parents come to our website. You select, different clothes, shoes, different dresses, and put it in your queue. Then, what's basically according to your price plan, what you put it on your queue, just like Netflix, we rush you the baby clothes. And after that, make your kids look nice, look them stylish, maybe apply to the America's Next Top Baby model. And then after you're done with it, return it back so you can get new clothes from your queue list. All the return clothes will basically come to our inventory for a high quality control, high sanitization and cleaning process. And if it does meet our quality standard, we'll be packaged and ready for a re-rental. So that's how basically Bebaroo works. So Luis will basically take on with
So customers today, it's a very difficult world today. I mean, not only do you have rising costs of education and healthcare, now parents are losing jobs. Customers are very, very value oriented today. And that's the customer we serve. We make parents' lives easier. Clothes are one thing you don't have to worry about. They get all the choices that they want at 75% discount. And they don't have to leave their home. Half the parents' clothes comes from grandparents, from loved ones. We serve that market through pre-registries. Now that present can only just be for that first month, but it lasts the whole year. So our model involves, clothes has different prices, and it lasts different amounts of time. Therefore, we introduced the idea of a Bebaroo as a digital currency. The idea is that the Bebaroo covers about a $25 piece of clothing, like a POWERleap orange shirt, for 1 month rental. It'll cost $5 a month in our price plans, and at a 75% discount. We've got different price plans, so you can get a polo shirt, or you can get a Burberry $300 dress, which is a lot some parents purchase. It's a huge market, $45 billion a year being spent in kids' clothing. 25 of that being spent on infants' clothes. $5 billion is the online market, and that's the fastest growing segment at 10% CAGR. The financials are interesting. It's a revenue business because you have this monthly $35 per customer. With 20,000 customers, we can get a break-even point by year 3. With $14.6 million in sales, 60% margin business. It's fairly interesting. We've got great advisors on board, Tom Kinnear, Jen Beard, White Hop, you guys know some of these guys. And the reason we are here is because I wanted to announce it's not showing up.
Announce the Aurora Borealis.
Wanted to launch, outside of that, the launch of our pilot website.
Woo!
So it looks a little strange here, but you can browse products, you can see what we offer, and you can sign up. We're looking for 20 people who would be willing to work with us through this process.
19 and
so
Doug.
spread it to your mommies or soon-to-be mommies, and we look to really get their feedback. We're still looking to fill out the team a little bit. We really need people with experience in clothing and merchandising, and an achieved mom would be ideal. We have
Okay,
somebody
first
who's
question.
in San Francisco.
Over here.
How many kids do you have?
I have one in November, coming in November. So I'm going through this whole process of seeing my wife become a very, very beautiful shopper. Very beautiful at it too.
It's funny, a lot of stuff that we get from grandparents, it's always the same thing. It's a really pretty dress. We have this huge closet of pretty dresses for our children. But things that we don't get are like shoes, gymnastics outfits, swimsuits. So I don't know if you guys have looked at the sort of outside of just your normal clothing range.
Right. So the reason why we're offering this baby clothes rental service is because to meet those special occasional demands. Most of the customers, when we talk to about 100 customers, telling us that these special occasional football dresses or costumes, they get only worn once or twice before going out of it, and that's why we like to offer. If you go through our diverse selection of clothes, we'll be one of those. Will be those occasional dress ups.
And if we don't have it, please suggest it, because we want a huge selection, and that's what our model is built on.
Right here?
How are you going to handle stains that don't come out? Who's going to pay for that product?
Sure. So we modeled a certain amount of, actually a huge amount of turnover in our business. So our inventory completely turns over twice a year, and 50% of it gets lost. It's expensive. Ideally, we hold parents responsible, so that there's a moral hazard involved. We hold them responsible that they'll be able to give us back that special occasion clothing in a decent state and we can fix it, but we expect some of it not to.
Mike? Mr. Redmond.
Okay, so everything you buy is brand new. Have you ever thought of if people have gently used those grandma dresses that have been given to people and they've only worn them once before they grew out of them? Have you considered doing anything along those lines?
So our models also, we're big on this quality control. Moms are very hooked online and they talk. And if we, so we need to have really tight quality control. And we need to be able to understand the process really well. And when we introduce that factor into it, we'd love to, and I think that's something we'll explore in the future, it makes it a lot more dangerous that we might ship something out that's not at the supreme state that we want it.
Right here.
Does your wife plan on using your service?
Absolutely. She has been my alpha customer. So. Right here.
Are you going to be able to inventory things like organic cotton T-shirts, organic clothing?
Yeah, the model isn't as interesting when the clothes is cheaper. So if it's $10, not so interesting. It really starts making a lot more sense for the consumer when it's $20, $30, $50, $60. So we'd be glad to stock those if they're in the right price range.
So
Speak up.
So when you get a clothes back, but the quality is qualified from continuing using it for service, do you eventually donate it?
So we'll either try to sell it back as a used clothes through different places, or even donate the clothes to hand-me-down stores or Salvation Army, places like that.
Sunan?
I'm curious, what is your cleaning process?
I'm sorry?
What is your cleaning process once you get the clothing?
So we're still developing the model, but right now we have the National Diaper Association giving us trying to get that approval of the cleaning process meets those standards. So we're trying to follow those kind of rules, regulations that exist right now. But we'll also do do business with like laundromat or to go through those cleaning services out there as well.
There's basically a certification process that we're following.
So how do you track the clothing if parents ship some of it back?
Right. I mean, we're hoping to use RFIDs later on for individual items of clothes so we can track them down. And also, if you decide to keep those clothes more than a month, obviously it's like Netflix. If you keep those clothes more than a month, we're still going to charge you for whatever you still rented out along those lines.
If you tell us it's lost, we can damage it. But if you keep it, then it's a monthly rental cost. But yes, logistics is very important, as you mentioned. And just like Netflix, this is a complete company, right? You've got the online component, you've got the merchandise component, you've got a very heavy inventory logistics component, which has to work at huge accuracy for us to be able to deliver great clothes to the moms.
Tell us about that one, Luis. Where is your distribution center? Where is your in-process for the rentals that come back in? How do they work?
So those are great questions, and I
Thank
think we're developing, David is actually going to be assisting us in developing that part of the model.
Shameless plug, sorry. All right, let's give it up, please, for Bebaroo, Luis Calderon. It's been another fantastic A2NewTech. I love all 5 of our presentations. But most of all, I love you, little Quinn Song. I can't wait to meet you. Your parents are awesome. I'm really looking forward to finding out more about you. You're 1 day old. Okay, enough of this.
Did you change your meds?
Did I change my meds? I'm talking to a baby, okay? That's how you talk to babies. You've had babies. All right, everybody, we're going to...